The object of this Aim2 bill is that there's a 25% cut in TD's and Shanadori's salary during COVID Level 5 and Level 4 lockdowns. And I'll explain the reasons why I believe that this is just and the right thing to do. Taoiseach, there are two Irelands at the moment, and those two Irelands are radically separated. Ireland is in an unprecedented crisis. 1 in 4 workers today are unemployed. That figure is practically the highest figure that has ever been in the history of the state. 1 in 4, well over 500,000 workers today are unemployed. Hundreds of thousands of people are literally seeing their businesses and their incomes deleted. There has been a radical reduction of income right across Irish society at the moment, and hundreds of thousands of people are being pushed into poverty. There's a second type of Ireland, and that's the political class. And we've seen at the same time that that crisis has happened in incomes, TD's salaries actually increase. We've seen judges' salaries increase. Yesterday I attended the Finance Committee, where the Fianna Fáil Minister, Michael McGrath, who is the Minister for Public Expenditure, defended an €80,000 increase to a €210,000 salary. He defended that at a time when so many people's incomes are being absolutely trashed. The contrast between these two Irelands couldn't be starker. It's breathtaking that the chasm that exists now between those two classes of Ireland is larger now than it ever was. And it's extraordinary as well, Minister, that this type of largesse is happening at the precipice of what is going to be a massive economic crisis. It's like the political class is partying just before the country is about to go down the tubes economically. We've had a budget deficit of €19 billion this year. It's likely that €35 billion will be added to the national debt of this state this year. This will bring the national debt to a whopping €239 billion. This is one of the highest national debts per capita that exist on this planet. It means that every man, woman and child currently owes €47,700. Now, Ireland is a massively indebted country, and this leaves us extremely exposed to future shocks. If there is a shock with regards to the economy in 3 or 4 years, and we're carrying this level of debt, we're going to see exactly the same situation arise as befell this country in 2010, 2011 and 2012. I've also wanted to raise an issue that hasn't been raised by really any other political party in Leinster House during this crisis. And that's the fact that when the COVID crisis subsides, and please God it will soon, there's going to be an economic crisis in this country. Because the EU is going to put pressure on this country to get its budget deficit in order. And the only way that Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael historically have known how to get budget deficits in order is to increase taxes on low and middle income workers and to cut spending on public services such as health. So if this government is still in power over the next 2 or 3 years, it's likely that they will be implementing savage austerity in the near future. Now, in the last crash, there was a logical reduction in TD's salaries in line with the income of the rest of society. But on this occasion, politicians' income is actually going in the opposite direction to the rest of society. While obviously the savings achieved because of this Aim2 bill in the reduction of TD salaries are small, every single TD should be playing its part to take on the cost of getting Ireland back on its feet. There's also the question of governance here. How can politicians properly represent people if they cannot relate to those people? It's clear that the government know very little about what families are going through at this moment in time. Aim2 has submitted this bill, and if passed, the salary of TDs and Shanadori will be reduced by 25% during Level 4 and Level 5 restrictions, when pubs, shops, cafes and restaurants are forced to close. Perhaps Alas can Corlia, that this will concentrate the minds of the government TDs in relation to the mismanagement of COVID. Perhaps they'll start to do a better job in relation to very basic things, like making sure that we have proper management of travel into this country, proper safeguards for our nursing homes, and proper investment into the health service in this time of crisis. Gurv Mahagat.
Thank you very much. Is the bill being opposed? No. So the bill is not being opposed. So the motion for leave to introduce is agreed. And again, I would ask the Deputy to move that the second stage be taken in private members' time.
I move.
Thank you.
Is
that agreed? Agreed.